The goblins are back and they're at it again in Goblin Slayer. You guys remember Goblin Slayer? Oh yeah, this is Exhausted Reviews, where I'm exhausted and I make reviews. And this Friday is busy for shows. We got Frieren, we got Undead Unluck, and we got Goblin Slayer coming out today too. You guys didn't tell me Goblin Slayer was coming back. I should have done a video looking through everything coming back, because Goblin Slayer came out, like, what was that? It had to have been at least like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It was so long ago. That was back when Shield Hero first started. Those two shows, it's funny that they actually come back on the same day too, because those shows got into a bit of trouble for their content, let's say. And Goblin Slayer makes no mistake in, you know, giving us a flashback to the very first premiere of Goblin Slayer, where some less than savory stuff happened to these adventurers. That's where he met the priestess, and the priestess, her whole party got wiped, and just before she was about to get squished, the Goblin Slayer pulled up and saved her life. Literally saved her life, and that flashes us back forward to now. Now, unfortunately, I do gotta say, that is the only goblin fighting in this episode. So, you know, I can't say I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get more slayed goblins in Goblin Slayer. So let's just catch up and see where everyone has been. The priestess, she's doing good, all things considered. The guild did tell her later on in the episode that, you know, we don't think you're pulling your weight. So she kind of has a bit of something to prove to herself today. And, you know, the rest of the guild, the elf, the dwarf, everyone else has just been chilling, basically, you know. The only person who's like a real character is the Goblin Slayer, might I add, and our homegirl, priestess. So yeah, these guys they're really just catching up, honestly. A lot of catching up from the beginning. Then my man Goblin Slayer comes in, and we do touch a little bit on how the town sees Goblin Slayer. Of course, the party knows Goblin Slayer is pretty cool, because, you know, they've worked with him, but everyone still doesn't know about Goblin Slayer. You know, like they still haven't worked with him like they have, so they do spread rumors, and a bit of that happens. But of course, Goblin Slayer doesn't mind throughout the episode, because he's more worried about killing goblins. He doesn't care. He would rather just do his own thing, and he pulls up with a big stack of cash. You know, all these guys are talking about, you know, can I afford potions? And he's like, 6 potions, 6 heals, 6 staminas, all of each. And so while these guys are you know, they're like seeing how he's just like making a bunch of money killing goblins, and I guess they're kind of getting jealous. I don't know. They're like, dude, all he does is kill goblins. Kind of weird. But of course, the people who know him, they know that, like, you know, he's about his business and he's good at what he does. So it doesn't make sense to sort of like, you're either with him or you're not, like, helping him kill goblins. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. People are seeing like the amount of like preparation he's doing, that he's like, I'm tying my potions with knots so that I can like be able to locate them without having to read them, you know, some real smart adventurous stuff. And she's like, wow, that's so smart, I'm gonna do it too. And he's like, nah. And Goblin Slayer's like, nah, bro, don't do it. Don't even she's like, bro, just don't, it's not gonna help you. Don't just label all your stuff like that, bro. It's not gonna help you. You need to label only the important stuff that you can grab at a moment's notice. And she's like, oh shit, like, there's a lot more to this Goblin Hunter than I thought, you know? Goblin Slayer is a very pragmatic guy. You know, everything that he does in his life is going towards killing goblins, and he does it with the most efficiency too. And I think it says a lot that I don't think Goblin Slayer from last season would have gone out of his way to, you know, give this girl some advice about killing goblins. You know, he doesn't want anyone to be slayed first, but he's like, kill some rats first, you know? He keeps telling people to kill rats first, because rats, you know, goblins at least have some kind of like weird element of society to them, you know, because they're able to pick up weapons, and they have like troops, and they take humans and do bad things with the girls, with the ladies. They don't like the ladies. The girls get to do a lot of bad things with the guys. But it's just he's looking out for them when he's telling them to kill rats. Which one person we got to talk about, the worst guy in this episode. I don't even remember his name. I'm just gonna call him the new magician. This guy is the worst, bro. He bumps into these people, to them while they're coming down. He's like, "You guys are so slow." And then Goblin Slayer, you know, is like minding his own business, and he sees this dude sleeping in the middle of the Adventurers Guild. Doesn't have a place to stay, So Goblin Slayer, you know, seeing this guy who thinks he's tough shit, he's like, oh, I can kill goblins, no problem. He's like, all right, bro, you gotta come with me because I'm not about to let some idiot like you get killed by goblins. He brings him to his house, you know, and convinces his uncle and his sister to let him stay with him. And this dude is still ungrateful too, bro. He's literally just like, oh, so you think I'm scum, huh? You saying I'm some kind of crook? He's like, bro does not know his place, you know? He like, in the sense that like, he literally is just like, doesn't know how the world works. He's just some rootin' tootin' upstarty foolhardy, I would call him. That's a good word. It's foolhardy. He doesn't understand how the world works, and he thinks that he's just like so cool because he can do magic, you know? And that's just not the way it works for most people. You really got to know somebody in this world, especially in the world of adventurers. Who you know matters. And you know, Goblin Slayer giving him advice to like, bro, I need to sleep with one eye open in case goblins show up. If you want to fight goblins, you got to be ready for goblins, because these goblins are tricky motherfuckers. But this guy, you know, zero combat experience, zero combat riz, no combat riz, doesn't understand that these goblins are not something to be trifled with so easily, you know? One wrong move and a goblin has 3 knives right in your ankles and you're done for. And he's telling him, you know, he's like, yo, bro, go to the Slayers and kill some rats. And this guy is like, you know, we come back to the conversation of like, I feel like I haven't been pulling my weight. And they'd be like, oh, no, you're good. We've just got to, you know, we'll really show them how you shine. And this guy's like, shh, you're just a rear guard. You cower in the back. I bet you're just a little girl who likes to cry to God. And literally the entire adventure girl is like, bro, what is your problem, dude? Are you really out here telling this girl who's partying with Silver Range that she's not doing shit, bro? Who the hell are you? She's like, some little girl is like, bro, say that shit again while looking me in the eye, bro. Say that to me again. And this is the inciting incident for this season, or what I'm guessing is the first mini arc of this season. Is one of the head leaders of, like, don't even remember her name. She comes out, she's like, okay, you think you're hot shit. You're gonna lead a party. You're gonna be in a party with the priestess, and she's gonna be your leader, and you guys are gonna go out on an adventure. So this is setting up our first mini arc. I hope this guy doesn't join the cast. He's a little twat. I don't like him. I don't like him one bit. But you guys gotta leave a like for Goblin Slayer, man. These Goblin Slaying adventures are gonna get pretty serious, you know. The show is honestly a bit surface level. There's not a lot to it, just besides Goblin Slayer and the amount of growth he has outside of wanting to kill goblins. But this show does a pretty good job of, you know, selling itself on goblins being disgusting, horrible, weird little gremlins, and normal people, you know, just trying to make their way through it in the adventure. So the show does do a good job of just delivering on the goblin slaying. I will say this episode did not have a lot of goblin slaying in it, but I know they're setting up more stuff to come, you know. Season 2, not as much of a bang, but, you know, what are you going to do? We'll have to see how this big adventure comes through. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode, if you guys enjoyed it, if you guys didn't enjoy it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.